He's got the cred from where? From social media. In fact, that's where his entire business model comes from. Social media. So what do we call it? Can we discredit him for what he has done? I don't think so. He's done it. He's managed to mobilize people, but using a different platform. All it is just, what do they call it? It's just the means to an end. That's all it is. We use the streets. Some people use Twitter. At the end of the day, it's still cred. You still managed. Because some people can't do what he could do with social media. You understand? Some people can't do what, for instance, Arthur did with streets or Skido. They were on the streets, literally. You know what I'm saying? That is the way their cred comes from. His cred comes from mobilizing people on social media and doing what he's doing right now.
Okay. Are we done? Is that you? Any more questions? You know, did you guys watch that whole? did you watch the Khalees interview with Nas? That's for Status Update. Who watched that? Well, you need to check that out. I want us to believe her. Anyway, whatever she says, I'm gonna believe the female first. What's your take? You watched it. I know you watched it.
That should be great.
I don't want to lie. I'm a Nas fan, so it breaks my heart. I'm just saying though, we in an era where people are truly judged. You know what I mean? Social media, as much as he mentioned it as street cred, we are in an era where on social media, the Twitter fingers are the ones that are impeccable. So they don't look at the human error. I'm not saying I'm justifying what he did. I'm just saying as a fan, I'm a Nas fan. As a fan, I'm just saying, let's see how it pans out.
Was it her and Nas? Was it Khalees and Nas at the same time?
No.
Or
It was just
Khalees responding or talking about the entire. Oh, okay. I need to check that out. But to add to that, as much as social media has become the norm, I'm gonna take it back to normal businesses as well. For instance, you have what they call Pampers. Like, what is that company that does Pampers? Yeah, I forgot the company. They still do activations. So they still go back to the streets. As much as they're on Twitter saying, hey, it's a new Huggies Pampers. Hey, what? No, listen. No, I'm going back to him. I'm going back to him. I'm going back to his point.
Take this L.
I'm going back to his point. It's interesting that it's always a combination, So all I'm saying is, we don't know what happened with the Nas situation and Khalees. Yeah, there'll always be the gray matter that we don't know. It's like, between you and your girlfriend, you say something, she said, it's a he said, she said situation, At the end of the day, men will always be persecuted because you're a man, you're stronger, you're supposed to be the provider, supposed to be the protector, yada, yada. No, I understand. I understand that. But I'm saying, as compelling as it could be, right? But at the end of the day, the man will always be questioned, as your role in the relationship, that you are somehow have an upper hand, so you need to bring it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit sad, but at the same time, I'm going to be biased because I love Nas. That's where my bias comes from, But I will watch the interview. But I'm saying, though, that, going into that interview with that bias, yes, I will probably feel some type of way when it's done, but it is what it is,
I strongly believe that when a woman maybe says something like that 8 years or 9 years later, the first thing, she's a victim of whatever, abuse or whatever. The first thing that we need to do, this is why people don't even come out in the first place, because people don't believe them. Yeah, people don't believe them, and they shun the porn and all those other things. So I think as an advocate for non-violence against women and all those other things, we first need to believe the victim. And Pampers is always gonna sell because people stay making babies, nigga.
True that. No, but I'm saying maybe Pampers is the horrible example.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the people that still take it to the streets, whether they still have built multinational conglomerates they still find the need to go back to the streets. That was my point. Same as Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola will still do activations on they don't need to. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you take that example, then if you had to go to a rapper, for instance, any rapper, and say, yo man, why don't you go to some dingy spot, some taxi rank somewhere and do activation? They'll be like, nah man, I'm too, you know what I'm saying? So that's also another issue. Like, people become so huge, they don't feel the need to go back there, when the big guys understand the importance of always going back to the grassroots level and staying relevant and maintaining. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man.
All right. Now, thank you so much for coming through. You were legends in your own right. Oh, by the way, are you working on something quickly? What do you want to push?
Definitely. You know, by the way, you know, I've made that transition from, you know, producer, musician to filmmaker, you know, doing a lot of TV work. I mean, I've just put out a movie now, No Main. Yeah, it's actually even about my life somehow. Although it's a bit fictional, but it touches on that and my journey with me and Pro. I put that out, available on the Mnet channels, you know what I'm saying? I'm also working on a documentary as well. I mean, I'm doing a lot of stuff, you know. I'm also trying to put out, I'm trying to come back into the industry, but on my own agenda, on my own terms, you know what I'm saying? So I'm setting that up now, but I'm actually trying to mess with some new talent, man, actually. So I'm gonna be out there just with my ears on the ground trying to find new cats and really people that can be like clay, you know, mold them with all my experience and, you know.
I want to ask you something. You're saying you're looking for new talent. So if hip-hop artists themselves commercialize hip-hop and invest in it, do you believe it will be a better industry, as in if we're the ones that are in control of commercializing it, instead of corporates who have their own agenda, who want you to spread a certain message?
You know, I hate making examples with Casper again, you know, because he's like the cliche example, but look at how he has done it and how he has taken that plunge into investing into his own career. You know, it's very important. Nobody, like I always make the references, nobody wants to eat food when it's not cooked, you know? Somebody has to cook the food first and then everybody wants to join in, you know? But somebody has to do the cooking. So until we understand that mentality, that it can't always about some big corporate trying to come in, because once they do, then it's their own terms. They dictate how this whole thing moves forward. Yes, as much as, yeah, I'm bringing in 2 million rands into your movie, but I need to make sure I see Royal Powder or whatever the brand is 1 million times. But what if that affects my story and my storyline? You know what I'm saying? So you're dealing with those issues. But if it was my own money, then I wouldn't have to deal with those. Then I'd know this is what I want. This is how I want the public to perceive it. This is how I want it to look. So unfortunately, when it comes to those, you know, those that whole movement where brands come in, it will always be an issue with the creative, you know, and the corporate. That is always a very sore issue because people end up compromising. In fact, most of the time, people compromise. The creatives, the creators, the visionaries will compromise their vision based on people, the investors coming in and bringing in money. So with the rap game, it will definitely be at a better place if we had to invest our own time. And money is not always, you know, people say, invest. It's not just about money that needs to be invested. There's so much more. We need skills, we need resources, a lot of things that need to be invested. A lot of people, like, we used to have this debate.
I don't think you'll ever wrap up because we need to wrap up. No, but you've said a mouthful, and don't listen to this idiot. Continue making examples about Huggies, Pampers, you know what I mean? He's just a douchebag. Thank you so much for coming, though. You were a legend. You totally led for the No, it doesn't have to leave first. Have to be professional, you know what I mean? Have to be professional. You must. No, but he continues though. You drop jewels, we like you. But you know what? We must invite him. He needs to come through for an entire thing. Yeah. No, but we dig you. Continue shining. Continue kicking ass, right? So there you have it. Status update only on Slaghuis TV. He just dissected, actually, or dismantled the whole unnecessary idea of there needs to be a divide between underground as well as mainstream. We're out here back to the city with Thap. By the way, cop the merchandise, yeah?